Good evening, guys, and welcome to the channel. Today's going to be a Tech Tuesday. Might actually end up being like a really early Wednesday video. Today we're going to be talking about the best camera setup for YouTube in 2020/2021. I'm going to give you a low budget build, a medium budget build, then like a slightly, let's say, medium plus budget build. And if you guys want to see like my baller build, which is my latest camera setup, the one that I'm actually filming this on, let me know in the comments below and I'll share that setup with you. But I'll let you know right now, my baller setup is basically a little over $2,000, but you don't need to spend that kind of money. Let's start with the lowest budget, setup that you can use for YouTube videos, and I promise you, your video quality is still going to be awesome. It's going to be really, really good. But before we get started with today's video, I want to mention our video sponsor, Healthy Meals Direct. As you guys probably know from watching my previous video, I mentioned what my current weight was, which is around 320. I am currently down to around 312. Let me see, I got it right here. Yes, 312. So that's a weight loss of around 8 pounds my first week. That was 7 days of me eating nothing but the meal prep meals supplied by Healthy Meals Direct. I'll put my code in the description and on the screen right now. If you use code JMCHMD, you'll get 10% off your first order. And like I said, you could pick up these meals from any of their stores out here in Long Island, or you could have them shipped out to your house. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started with this video. And we're going to start with the lowest budget build for people that don't want to spend too much money when they're just first getting into YouTube. And that's going to be your cell phone. If you, like, this is an iPhone 11 Pro Max, I believe, whatever the top of line one is, this is it right here. If you have a good phone, whether it's an Android phone or an Apple phone, if you have an iPhone 11, you could film your YouTube videos with this right here. But I would highly, highly recommend that you pair this up with a gimbal. Which gimbal? I'd suggest you get the DJI gimbal, the OM4. I'm going to be putting links in the description below for all three builds, but basically, you get your phone, your iPhone 11. The iPhone 11 audio is actually pretty good. You get this phone, you put it on the DJI OM4, which is their latest gimbal, or the Osmo Mobile 3 if you want to save around 30-40 bucks. Either one, you pair it with the phone, you walk around. Trust me, your footage is going to look really nice and smooth, very professional, and as long as the wind is not too crazy, your audio is actually going to still be good. But now, let's move to a setup that I've been using for years, and that's this setup right here. For years, I've been using the Canon G7X Mark II. Now, I know there's a Mark III out, and when the Mark III came out, there were a lot of problems with it. If you ask me, my opinion, it's probably not worth spending the extra money on the Mark III. I know it has a few extra features and this and that, but the G7X Mark II, with this little furry thing that you see on the top, it's like a little dead cat. This is to help with the wind, with the mic. The microphone on this Canon G7X Mark II is excellent. Now, this camera is like the Swiss Army tool of cameras, in my opinion. This camera has been used by a whole bunch of YouTubers, but also been used by Casey Neistat. Now, I know my followers are car followers. I can tell you that this is like the same camera, I believe, that Tall Guy Car Review uses, Mr. Organic. A lot of these guys all use it, but besides them, there are much, much bigger YouTubers, like I said, like Casey Neistat and others out there that pretty much built their channels using the Canon G7X. I've had this one already for a couple of years, and I'm going to tell you really quick what I like about this camera. This is the kind of camera that there's no lens attachments or anything like that. You can't hook up an external audio jack to this, but you don't really need it. This is the camera that whenever I'm in a rush, I take this camera and I run out the door. It doesn't matter if it's daytime, nighttime. This camera has a very low aperture, which basically means at nighttime, this actually does extremely well. Daytime, no problem. You go ahead and put this thing in movie mode, turn on the ND filter if it's sunny. It gives you really, really good quality. And you're going to be filming in 1080 HD, and that's more than enough for YouTube. You don't need to be filming in 4K, to be honest with you. Now, this GorillaPod that I'm using right here to hold this camera, this is a metal GorillaPod. For the past couple years, I was using this one, this plastic one from Joby, and it worked. It worked good for like about 2 years. I'm not a fan of it anymore, and I'll show you why. Check this out. They fall apart. Now, it didn't fall apart like this when I first got it, when it was new, but after like 2 years, it falls apart. I highly recommend just invest a little bit of money. Get yourself the metal one. This is the 3K Pro. This GorillaPod, the metal one right here, I'm going to have a link below in the description. I'm going to have 3 sections in the description below showing you all 3 builds. Whether it's your phone with the DJI gimbal that I'm recommending, or if it's the medium build. This is the medium build right here. The Canon G7X Mark II with this Joby GorillaPod. Keep in mind there's different versions of this camera. There's a lot of different versions of this. So just so that you make sure that you don't go out and buy the wrong thing, make sure you click the links in the description. Now this is the medium setup, and this medium setup, you can walk around. The footage is not too bouncy, not too jumpy. You can walk around with this setup and it works perfect. This is literally how I built my YouTube channel, both my channels, all right? I have a Spanish channel, JMC Mundo, and my English channel, JMC Rides. This setup right here is what I've used. Now, if you want to take this setup and make it look more movie-like, more professional, then this is what you do. You still keep your Canon G7X Mark II, but you combine it with this gimbal. Crazy thing is that I discovered this gimbal right before I spent a whole bunch of money on my latest and greatest new camera setup that I was talking about before. I wish this product would have existed when I purchased my G7X Mark II, because you combine this and this camera. This is a gimbal, so you're going to be walking around. Everything's going to be crazy smooth. It'll just give your videos that really high-end quality look to it. And this is it right here. This is what comes in the box. I already took it out. Basically, this gimbal right here, it's extremely light. You can look up the reviews online. This gimbal is made by Zhiyun, something like that. I'm going to put the link to this gimbal. By the way, this gimbal is extremely affordable. I believe it costs a little bit under $200, and it's actually a great gimbal. It doesn't weigh a lot. It's very, very light. And not only can you use this gimbal for your Canon G7X, you can also use this gimbal for a smartphone. You could hook up a phone to this, and it'll work with the phone, or it'll work with your G7X. Like I said, my ideal setup would be G7X and this GorillaPod, or if you want to spend a little extra money, this camera and this gimbal right over here. Now today's video, my goal is not to make this video very long by any means. I want to just get the information out there. And like I said, with this camera setup, whether it's day, night, whatever situation you're in, this is good. The only bad thing about this, obviously it's not waterproof or anything like that. And that's when we move on to the next camera setup, which is this guy right here. This is my GoPro Hero 8. Now, depending what kind of YouTuber you are, if you have a car channel, you need a GoPro, especially if you're going to be going to Mexico. This is what I bring to Mexico every single time for the races. I was about to say something else. For any kind of racing at the track, of course, this is the camera setup that I use. I got a few GoPro Hero 8s. This is the latest and greatest GoPro with the suction cup mount. Now, you could technically also use your GoPro as your vlogging camera, but I'm going to tell you what the downside of that is. And that is nighttime footage. These GoPro, even the GoPro Hero 8, you can never compare the quality from the Canon G7X Mark II at nighttime to what it's going to look like with the GoPro Hero 8. And this is their latest and greatest camera. Now, during the day, you could change the camera angle lens to maybe like linear to give it the appearance of something similar to the Canon G7X, but still, in my opinion, the Canon G7X video quality, in my opinion, I still think looks better. The GoPro Hero 8 quality, it's not bad at all. It's not bad. It's a great camera. Like I said, I use it all the time, but I still feel like this. I get people who ask me, when I've shot videos with this camera, people ask me in the description below in the comments. They always ask me in the comments, hey, what kind of a camera are you using? That's what they ask when I'm using this one. They never really asked it when I use this one, but if you want to make this your vlogging camera, let's just say you were going to start a brand new car channel on YouTube, and you can't afford to get yourself this camera setup and this camera setup. This is what I was using. I had the G7X with the GorillaPod, and I always had my GoPros. If you can't afford both, then technically what you could do is just use your cell phone with the DJI gimbal and then get yourself the GoPro. I personally do not recommend that you use this as a vlogging camera. I mean, you can, especially, it has its time and place. If you want to go somewhere and you want like a really tiny small camera to kind of like walk around, it's good for that. If you definitely want to use it for vlogging, what I would recommend with the GoPro Hero 8 is the Hero 8 I would recommend the Media Mod, putting it on the screen right now. I'd also recommend the flip-up screen GoPro accessory, so you could actually see yourself while you're talking into the GoPro. I would also recommend this microphone right over here. Now the Media Mod comes with its own mic, but the quality on that will never compare to this one. This one's made by Rode. This is the Rode Video Micro. Now, like I said before, I'm going to be putting in the description below the links to the GoPro setup, to this microphone, to this specific microphone. This microphone is great. I love this mic. I don't really have any more use for it because now I have a much more professional mic that I'm using right now to film this video. But this is really an excellent mic. And that's pretty much it. If you guys are interested in doing this YouTube thing, look, you could make money on YouTube. There's no question about it. I know there's so many people out there looking to become YouTubers and do this kind of thing. I've been lucky and blessed enough to be able to make some money on YouTube myself. And that's how I have the cars that I have and all that kind of stuff. But guys, don't be discouraged. I know a lot of people out there want to start a YouTube channel, and some people are saying, look, I don't have the money, or I got to wait till I save up. Don't wait. Just do it. Get it started. Like I said, get it started with your phone and go pick up one of the DJI gimbals. Or you could even pick up this gimbal and pair it with the phone. And then if you ever get the Canon G7X, you could use that same gimbal with the G7X too. I think if your intention is to only use a gimbal for the phone specifically, I really like the DJI gimbal, the Osmo, I think the Osmo 3, and the new one that just came out, which is the OM4. Again, I'm going to break down all three builds in the description below with all the links. Go check it out. If you guys have any questions at all, feel free to let me know in the comments below. I forgot to tell you guys, I lost the 8 pounds, but I'm eating nothing but those meal prep meals from Healthy Meals Direct. But I am also at the gym every single day, getting my cardio in. Once I see a nice chunk of weight come off, I'm going to go crazy with the weights also and just kind of work that into my workout. So just going to do it with the cardio, and little by little, I'll just kind of keep stepping it up in the gym until I hit my goal and I lose exactly 100 pounds on the dot. Anyway, guys, check out all that info in the description below. Don't forget about the code JMCHMD for 10% off your meal prep. Hit the subscribe button, click the bell icon so you can sign up for notifications, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.